Good morning, everyone. It's Ask Me Anything Monday from New York City. We are here coming from the New York Stock Exchange. It is Ask Me Anything Monday. It's going to be an incredible week. Looking forward, everyone, to the questions you have. I want to thank everyone in Chicago, in New York, for showing up to extraordinary meetups. Everybody is of service and of value, and we have just had an amazing time at the New York Stock Exchange with Peter Tuchman. Unbelievable hero legacy of the New York Stock Exchange. Keaton, good to see you. I will pin up here if anybody wants my book, ebook, audiobook. I'll send you a signed copy of my book and pay for shipping. It's david@dmeltzer.com. If you want to ask me anything and don't get your question in here on Monday, you can come to Clubhouse at 3 p.m. Pacific time today, ask me anything, or just reach out to me, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. All right, let's get this party started with some great questions. We'll start here. Let me see if I like I always say, if it doesn't hurt anybody and it works for you, go for it. But face tats don't work for me. It'll just accentuate my face, and rather accentuate other things in my capability spectrum. Anyway, great question. Wow, these questions are diving in. Thank you so much. How was the stock exchange? It was amazing. You got to put yourself out there, do things. Our schedules get a little bit active, but it probably was the highlight of my trip. And want to thank again Peter Tuchman for giving me such access to the New York Stock Exchange. I got to hammer the gavel and the ring bell with the Hilton, and get on stage at their reception and take some pictures on their stage. So always great stuff there. So thank you. Moving forward here, there's more questions. Here we go. Where do you see the industry heading, given things are slowly opening up? Sports industry. Well, first of all, it's heading in esports and gambling, two areas that with anything not opening up or opening up are going to continue to grow. But you're going to see sold out events. If we can continue and we are allowed to keep opening things up, you're going to see an incredible surge for live experiences. And sports being one of the most popular, gambling growing and creating even more of an interest in the live aspect of being able to real-time poll and toll and fantasy and gamble upon the experiences you're having. We're going to see a great surge in the sports industry and sports content, because remember, all that you see that's captured, modified, amplified, and perpetuated starts live. Somewhere, something's going on live. So it's a necessity to what's going on is live experiences become content. And the best live experiences become the best content. How do you deal with subjectivity with loved ones? So first, whether they're loved ones or not, subjectivity is a matter of understanding and then praying for that person's happiness if you can't get alignment. So when we seek the love, the light, and the lessons in other people, their subjectivity now at least has an objective or a quantifiable value to it, and then we can get alignment and acceptance. And if we can't we can agree to disagree by looking for and praying for someone's happiness and forgiving them, even though it isn't. All right, we're going to bring our friend on. Here we go. Johnny's here. I dropped my other phone. We'll bring Johnny live. He is the CEO. Here he is.
Hey, David. How are you?
Good. Welcome to Mobile Mondays with Mr. Meltzer. How are you?
I'm great. Just landed back in London from New York, actually. So I hope you're having a great trip there.
Oh, man, I missed it so much. It's been way too long, and you just forget the energy. Even though it's not the same energy as it was, there's so much more energy here. And obviously the culture, the food, and the people, it's underrated. Let's just put it that way.
It is.
But give me a little bit of background, John, and love to hear about your company. And if you have a question for me, it's Ask Me Anything Monday.
All right. Yeah, I do have a question for you, but let me give you a little background on myself. So my name is Johnny. I'm the founder and CEO of SoPost. So we're a global technology company, and we've had the online product sampling for hundreds of brands. It's basically about helping them get physical trial products to the right target consumer in a way that's super targeted, captures them a ton of data, and provides really deep insights and analytics. And given that we're growing pretty quickly into a lot of different markets, my question is really around how we as a global company should go about promoting a positive company culture.
Yeah. So first of all, you have to understand what those values are. So to create a positive company culture, I find just like in investments, people don't take the first step to determine what the culture they want is. What is that what of the culture? And so, for me, my culture is based off of four things: gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and effective communication, which leads to an inspired company, not just motivated, but inspired and in spirit, people who have both really disciplined, consistent, persistent behavior combined with faith of a positive faith that everything's going to be better. It's a collective consciousness. That's your culture. So pick and choose what you want, hire and train at least twice, if not three times a week, those cultural aspects and reinforce it with acknowledgement, money. All of those things should be directed towards the culture itself, the value. See, skills can be taught, knowledge can be learned, desire is born into us, but desire can be enhanced through the culture to execute on the skills and the knowledge that we need in order to effectuate growth, acceleration, the compounding interest of a startup or a business. But I find that too many people talk the talk when it comes to culture, but they don't walk the walk. So what I do, Monday morning meetings for about an hour, and now that we are acclimated to the virtual realm, it's much easier for everyone to block out their calendar from 10 a.m. Pacific time to 11 a.m., a cultural meeting. Then Wednesday, a short check-in meeting, could be as little as 5 minutes, sometimes 30. And then Fridays, I have training for the entire country and world now, thanks to COVID. And then my company is required to go to trainings or watch the replay. But then we have a Friday meeting right after training. That's a minimum of 30 minutes. By continually reinforcing via acknowledgement, education, and money the importance of that culture, those values, not only will you inspire and empower your employees, but they will also, you're selling through your own employees to new employees and to your clients and customers. Remember, I think it's really important for people to understand that a culture can transcend our own company into our consumers and clients. And when we sell through our own employees to those consumers and clients, that our culture takes on an added amplification because our consumers are also those people that are identifying with our culture. And that's where, of course, we see the greatest companies, the multi-billion-dollar international companies, because people feel as if they're a part of a consciousness, and the value that they receive even is less than the value of being part of that community consciousness and culture. Does that sound fair?
That sounds great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Johnny, thank you. Where can people find you?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at group, or you can check us out at sopost.com.
Sopost.com. Let's do some more together. Congratulations on your success. Let's keep it growing.
Awesome. Thank you, David.
Thank you. Take care, Johnny. All right. Check up Sopost. Group is GROOB. Group. And from there, I got all these distractions in New York. I have no idea what my wife is saying.
It said be accountable.
Oh, say it again.
There's a sign right there. It said be accountable.
There you go. Message from the universe right there. Accountability. I love Julie. That's my wife, by the way. All right, let's take some questions here. Keep them coming. Does New York City or Chicago have better food? It depends on what kind, right? I think I like the hot dogs in Chicago best, and I prefer the pizza in New York. I know that's going to get me a lot in trouble than Chicago. So per geography, there's extraordinary food everywhere. I suggest everyone find the superpowers in the culinary arts of each place that you visit is the bigger lesson to be had. What's the hardest part about being a parent? Your kids come through you, they're not for you. The hardest part about being a parent is your kids don't listen to you, but they do watch you. The hardest part about being a parent is wanting the best for them, thinking that you know what's best for them. I'm going to say that again. I want the best for my children, thinking I know what's best for them, and I don't. As you know, I don't even probably know what's best for me. I don't know what I don't know, but everyone has their own journey. So I want to equip them with those values, the culture, in order to effectuate the best mindset that I can help them have, the best heart set that I can help them have, open hands to be as grateful and receiving as they can. Those with open hands give and receive. So everyone hold your hands out for people to take what you have and to receive what you want. So very important question. Sir, what is the advice you would give to a 17-year-old living in India? I don't care if you're 17, 27, 37, 47, 57, 67, 77, 87, or 97 living in India or anywhere else in the world. Ask for help. The best piece of advice that I can give people is to ask for help. Know your what. If you know what you want experientially, personally, giving and receiving, if you know who can help you and who you can help, every prayer for me in the morning is may God put 10 people in front of me that I can help, and may I help 10 people and 10 people that can help me. Know how you're going to get it done. And then, of course, prioritize by what's important to you of the what, the who, and the how. You'll be able to apply your why your entire life from 17 on. So know your what, your who, your how, your now. Apply your why by asking for help. Best advice I can give you. If anyone wants those 5 daily practices, I'm happy to send them to you. David@dmeltzer.com. David@dmeltzer.com. You can get those 5 daily practices. Happy to give those to you. It's Ask Me Anything Monday. If you don't get your question answered today, 3 p.m. on Clubhouse every Monday, Pacific time, 3 p.m. Ask Me Anything on Clubhouse. And of course, Ask Me Anything here right now. And you can email me your questions, david@dmeltzer.com. Next question. What's the greatest lesson Julie learned this weekend?
Oh my God. I couldn't even tell you.
Oh, there you go. Lesson is there's too many lessons to learn. You're going to keep on learning the lessons. They'll keep on coming until you learn them. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, Mobile Meltzer, watch the water as we get out of the Uber. All right. So anyway, that's where we're at. Let me find a good place to go. How are you? All right. Ask Me Anything Monday. I'm going to sit back over here. And obviously, the lesson I learned is about being kind to your future self, doing good deeds. Julie, I'll meet you up there. Yeah, there we go. Take another question. During your trip, has there been an occasion to apply your adaptable routine? If so, do you mind sharing? Yeah, so this morning, I have an unexpected 2-hour meeting at the New York Stock Exchange. Therefore, all of the things that I had planned in my normal routine beyond meditation, I now have to go to my adaptable routine. So after this, I'm going to go change, cut my Monday morning meeting short so I can work out and do my minimum of an hour in my health here at the hotel and the gym. So I couldn't do everything for the amount of time that I wanted to do because I took extra time at the New York Stock Exchange, but then I go to my non-negotiables, which is my health, and I utilize that. So do that almost every day because come up with a well-developed plan. It's a great way to make God laugh at you. What lessons have you shared from recent meetups? The biggest lesson I've shared recently is about time and thought, that the speed of light, the speed of time, 24 hours of man-made constructive time moves slower at 186 miles per second than the speed of thought. Therefore, we can utilize our mindset to transcend time. I also have been reinforcing that everyone on earth, including me, takes for granted things that people are wishing for. And so the greater capability that we have of reconciling all the things we can be grateful for that we're taking for granted. And what happened to me to remind me of that is I was speaking at this great event, OSP event, with Amir, Mike Tyson, Badu, and after I was done speaking, this young woman had a seizure and stopped breathing. And so with all the people there, from the mindset we were in, we realized that we were all taking for granted the fact that we were breathing. We were all taking for granted the fact that we already won the lottery by being alive, that it's trillions to one chance that you're even here. And we kind of make sure that we also reinforce that. So don't take for granted for what other people are wishing for. Most interesting person you've met recently? Well, you would think it was Mike Tyson, but it wasn't. It was Peter Tuchman of the New York Stock Exchange, been on the stock exchange for almost 40 years, and his parents were Holocaust survivors. He almost died of COVID. By far, he is the most interesting person I've met recently, let alone on my trip. So big shout out to the New York Stock Exchange and Peter. I appreciate everything that you've done for me this morning. Even though I had to resort to my adaptable routine, I certainly appreciate it. Tyson's interesting though, trust me, but I've actually met him before. But Peter is more interesting than Mike Tyson. You got to check him out. Unbelievable. So, did holding the gavel at the New York Stock Exchange have a significant meaning to you? Yeah, freedom. The stock exchange to me is the freedom of commerce. It's the unbelievable opportunities of America in entrepreneurship, and seeing Kramer and all the CNBC guys and the Fox guys and the Cheddar guys and girls, and historical evolution to be able to stand there and hold the gavel and slam it down and listen to the bell ring was an extraordinary experience, but it definitely signifies the freedom, opportunities, and options that I've been given growing up. My grandfather coming over here, all my grandparents coming over here with nothing, selling tires out of the back of a truck, 6 days, 12 hours a day, just so they could eat. And here I am, living an extraordinary existence with a studio opening at the Wynn, with the Blue Wire podcast, Playbook Sports and Entertainment, with Entrepreneurs, the Playbook, with my studio and office and conference room and suite at the SoFi Stadium, and then my studio with Clarity and Experiences, all from nothing. And standing there at the stock exchange, almost every one of those companies started, well, I should say, sorry, every one of those companies started with an idea, possibility. Then somebody got inspired and made it a probability. And then with discipline, strategy, and awareness, created a perspective, a reality of options and opportunities. That is freedom. And the stock exchange represents freedom to me. It is Ask Me Anything Monday. Every Monday you can ask me anything. I'm here on IG Live. And of course, at 3 p.m. Pacific time on Clubhouse, Ask Me Anything. If you don't get your question answered, then go ahead and email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Also, the 5 daily practices or my book, david@dmeltzer.com. Check it out. Those 5 daily practices, ebook, audiobook. I'll send a book, sign it to you, pay for shipping. Not a problem. First episode of the Playbook Sports and Entertainment launched today. Check that out. We have Entrepreneurs, the Playbook, and the Playbook Sports and Entertainment with Blue Wire, 3 p.m. Pacific time on Clubhouse. I'll take a couple more questions, and then I got to, on my adaptable routine, get a little bit of exercise in. Who won the Meltzer versus Tyson fight? Tyson chickened out. He wanted more money, so we're going to wait until I can get $100 million on pay-per-view. I don't blame him. Craig Siegel's in the house. Manhattan, Meltzer, Meltzer Mania. If you don't know the paradigm shift, you don't know the shift. Check us out on Saturdays mornings. The paradigm shift, Craig Siegel _CLS. Welcome, Craig. Give me a question, man. You've got the best questions in the world. What can I do to increase my intelligence? Practice. So remember, genius is the expression of God. It takes practice to see and to figure out how you're clearing the interference before and through to that intelligence, the higher intelligence, the higher power of thinking. It is not that you don't have intelligence. You are intelligent. You have to figure out, what am I doing to interfere with it? And when you figure that out and clear your way, an unwinding routine, is a great way to do it, so that when you sleep, not only do you get recovery of your body, but your mind and your soul, or your subconscious and unconscious morning. So check that out, mindset. Check that out. Clear the interference. Express God by creating and articulating genius coming through you. How do you perceive adversity? Adversity, thank you, Craig. Adversity to me is a turn signal. It's a propellant. It propels us to something better, a better situation, a better place. It's not a stop sign. It's not punishment. So for me, all perceived adversity, setbacks, failures, void, shortages, and obstacles are simply turn signals, reminding us with faith that we have a lesson to learn. And if we learn that lesson, we'll be in a better place, a better situation, or make our situation better. And that's all it is. There's no punishment. There's no pain. It's just propelling you to something out of the way. That's awesome. So take that turn signal, take yourself with faith to a better place. Do you ever come to Montreal? Yes, I do. Just with COVID, it's a lot more difficult. Love Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, all of Canada. Being business partners for 12 years with Warren Moon, probably the greatest Canadian football player, if not the greatest Canadian football player of all time. I have some great experiences in Canada, and like that. Here we go. One more question as we get through this. What's a tidbit, workflow, or efficiency you picked up this morning that you'll apply into your life? So I went on the internet, and I rarely do this in a city, but because of the transportation, I started to memorize different areas in communication and transportation aspects of Manhattan that I've never seen before. So I actually was more interested than interesting and used the internet, and I ended up getting down to Wall Street in a much quicker way by walking to a different subway stop than I would have. It was an extra 1 minute to walk to a different subway stop to save 16 minutes on the subway that dropped me right at the NYSE, the New York Stock Exchange. So be more interested than interesting. Best way to save time and to get things done efficiently, effectively, with statistical success. Do you have any parenting tips for moving your kids across the country? The first tip would be make them do it themselves. But if you're going to do it, then make them do and participate and work with you doing it. Do not do everything for them. So if you're going to take the time to do something, teach them how to hook up a TV, or to shop, or to get the best deal, or to move things, or get boxes and shipping and ordering and all the different things, making their bed, that seem to be very challenging when you move in your kids to a different place. I also let my 22-year-old, this is the last time I'm helping, so please, put some compelling event into it as well. Exactly. Why don't you believe in Jeff Bezos? Oh, I believe in Jeff Bezos. 25 years ago, I may not have believed him if he told me he was going to be a trillionaire and the most successful business person on earth, as he was selling books out of his garage. But that's my own problem, not his. He has a greater understanding of the universe than I do, a greater imagination than my reality could even understand. And that's the lesson that I learned, is I want my reality to exceed other people's imagination. I want my reality to exceed other people's imagination, and I don't want to take for granted what other people are wishing for, they do go hand in hand. So anyway, all right, last question time, then I'm gonna go work out, adapting and putting in my adaptable routine. Here we go. Should I leave an unfulfilling day job to pursue a YouTube marketing career? Do both. Lean into your day job and make it fulfilling. So many people quit by not finding the light, the love, and the lessons in what you do. If you lean into what you are doing, it'll be fulfilling. One, you'll have more time, more money, and more opportunity to add on a YouTube marketing with the skill sets, knowledge, and superpowers that you're gaining from your daily experience. The lessons that you're learning for other people who sit in the situation either that you are in, or a situation they want to be in. And there's my friend Peter Tuchman. Thank you for heroic friendship, a start of an unbelievable family friendship. You're an amazing human being. Thank you for everything that you do to help educate and empower, especially young people. Thank you so much. Anyway, that's my Q&A for the day. Monday, we're going to cut it a little bit short. That's because I spent an extra time at the New York Stock Exchange with the most interesting person I've had on my trips, Peter Tuchman. Amazing. Janky Bake is a huge fan too. All right, everyone. If I didn't get to your question, email me, david@themeltzer.com, or come on Clubhouse at 3 p.m. Pacific time for Ask Me Anything Mondays. It's always a pleasure. It's always an honor. Thank you, everybody. Remember, most importantly, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. I'll see you later today at 3 p.m. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.